Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. We're on episode 420, continuing in the weekly coloring planner. We will be finishing our brown elements here on these 3 flowers. I am going to start on the left side, which is going to be the Kalour. We'll see how much I can get done. Lucky's being needy. I just hear him crying. We'll see how it goes. Syrup number 11 and carob number 59. And then I do need to grab that lighter brown as well. And then I have picked colors. Here it is. Here's our lightest color. Alright, we'll start up here with our darkest color. I better, because it's been a couple of days. We had company arrive. They're staying at my parents'. Oh, yesterday I did not get a chance to color. Partially, not because of company. I am finally finishing the revamp of the card making side of my craft room. It has been in the making since my crafting friend Libby came in December. I finally got a lot of things done, and we're on the last stretch. Oh, and there's the cat. We are going to continue on. I won't even tell you how much time has passed. After many interruptions, I did have to go off and exercise this morning. I was up pretty early to try to color, get some filming done, and it just wasn't in the cards. And I think I am supposed to be using, I'm looking at the reddish brown, and this dark I think is just supposed to be along the top. So let's do that. Syrup is the red tone. Again, trying to leave a little bit of white. This is quite red compared to the other 2 browns. I did spend a little time last night picking out leaf colors and background tones. So that will be fun to work on as soon as we finish with the browns. And I put a poll up listing all of my pencil sets, leaving it an open-ended comment. You can either put the number or the set name from the list. There are 36 of them, and this is for coloring the Kirby Rosanna's sea turtle, which I can now admit was my favorite of the 3. This is back to the darkest color. Moving on. See, all in all, once you get it all loaded up, yes, I can see that this is a redder brown, but I think once I get the last quadrant done, it won't really be noticeable. So this morning, Lucky, he was unsettled. He is 6 months old. He's a very highly interactive kitten. We're home every day. In the morning is the time where both of us go off and do our little few hours of work / exercise. And so this morning I was up quite early. I was going to a 10 o'clock class with my mom and our company. And he would not leave me alone. Normally he does. So I was trying to figure out he rotates through toys. He has like 4 different toys that he will play with. 2 of them are the hangy kind on a string. One is a fabric, like a fleece fish with a ribbon tail. And the other one is just this snake thing. And he got the snake things fairly recently, so he's pretty addicted to them. He thinks those are pretty neat, but he wouldn't play with it on this rug. We have a fish rug, a bunch of little like schools of fish, and from day one that has always been his favorite place to play. And it was weird that he wasn't playing. So when he is done, all right, had to make an adjustment. So Lucky wasn't playing with his snake toy like he should, so I let him grab it. And I always ask him, where are you going to take it? And he will either, when he grabs it like that, he will take it to right between my legs, or he'll bring it over to my chair. And keep in mind, it's on a stick with a fishing wire, a clear fishing line. So I'm still holding on to the stick end of it at this point. I can let it go, and he will pull it, and he takes it all over the house with the stick on it. So he took it, of all the crazy things, which he's never done before, he took it outside. He wanted to play with it outside, and that's what I was missing when he wasn't really very playful with it. And he then got very animated and was really excited. And it's the first time he has ever taken a toy very obviously outside, because that's what he wanted to do, was play outside. So we did. And that helped him. The other thing weird he's doing, he has this cute little fleece cube bed that sits on a couple of tubs right by my side of the bed. And yesterday or the day before, I asked where the cat was when I came home, and he says he is sleeping in his bed in the room. And sure enough, I had to see it for myself, because I bought him that bed, and he's just very slow to accept change. Very slow. So sure enough, I go there and he's sleeping in his little bed. He was sleeping in his bed today when I came home from exercising. I thought that was quite something. So I feel he might be in a little kitten transitionary phase of life to just being a little bit different. And this is the joy of raising a pet from a baby, is getting to experience all of these changes and personalities. And he really struggles with scratching not where he is supposed to scratch, and so we've acquired a couple of different scratching things, and he is struggling with them, and he totally knows he's supposed to use them and that he's not supposed to scratch. He doesn't scratch on the furniture, but he scratches on our rug, which is a really inexpensive rug, and he can scratch on it. We just don't want him to think he can. It's not going to be like we lost a lot of money and it's common, you can get another one, but it's the principle of the thing. So we are staying diligent It's just such a trial, but in a very fun way. I am going in with more pressure now with the dark color. I already put the red tone in, and I am going to add the tan, which is the lightest or the darkest color on the petals. See, I want to leave all of those little circles. White. You'll see that I am mixing multiple tones, and I think that's going to be the theme of this page when I get to the background. Trying to intermix this tanny color with the reddish color, and I'm going to do a little bit of that with the greens and the background dark tones that are going to be in the smallest little segments. There's these 2 layers here, and we're going to be playing with those with some probably pen, I would think. Haven't quite committed to that yet. I do want a little bit of syrup, which is the red, brown. It's very vivid with this particular set, so I'm going soft, 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 letting it just attach itself to a little bit of the white. I don't know if you guys can see that, just hints of it. And then there's also hints of the tan already that I put down. All right. A little more pressure with the tan here. Red. Very soft with the red. So hard pressure on the tan, very soft with the red because it is a dominant color. Very pigmented, easy light to lay down. All right, that's that flower. Very excited to move on to the different colors. I put the Kalour behind the Castle Arts, which was a bad mistake. It's because they're the 2 that have a black barrel. And then I have the Starjoy, which is a color barrel, and the Crayola that are a color barrel. Next time I will make sure I keep the barrels separate. Okay, so I have, the last one is Starjoy Gold. We expect great things. Here are the 3 tones. The light tawny 11O, which is the darkest color on the yellow petals. 103S is our reddish tone tree bark, and Good Earth 102S. Going to start with the dark, and we will start up here. It is a coolish day today. I think it's like 80 and overcast. I had to go to a meeting with our condo association oversight group. I am our condo secretary and had to turn in the meeting minutes for the last 2 meetings. Florida has a new law, this started last year, that condos have to meet once a quarter. It used to be you only had to meet annually. So we also are a seasonal RV resort, so there are lots of people who aren't here all year round. But they did make the requirements for the quarterly meetings only require somebody from the board to have it. So we have a section on our street that's houses, and those people, many of them, including us, live here year-round. So we were well represented. There are other condos that are just RV lots. Okay. Moving to this bright color, let's see if the Starjoy Gold is as pigmented. Right off the bat, these are my harder pencils. Not as hard as the Crayola, but definitely between, you know, this upper quadrant here is Castle Art Soft Touch. They are appropriately named. They are very soft. Bottom left that I just finished is Kalour, very soft. I would say not quite as pigmented, but very soft. So when I pick up a hard pencil, which Crayola I have not ranked where it sits as far as its hardness compared to my other 3. This is one of my 3 very hard sets. I'll have to do a ranking and test and figure it out. All right, let's add our third tan in here. I do need a little bit of this red. You know what this means? We're on 2, 3. These 3 are, you guys probably watched the whole thing going, what is she doing? So this is going to be only 3 correctly colored. Let's see how different. I can erase those 3. They won't erase 100%. I've gone and burnished them. Let's just see how similar they are. I get to talking. I think I'm going to leave it. That one I wish I had not put so heavy of pencil on the end there. And my eraser is off somewhere. I will go get it because I might need it. I always keep a cup of erasers, all different sizes, nearby. I'm just going to leave it at that. All right, moving on to the last small flower I will color with you guys. The other flowers actually, as you move further away, become some different styles, see, with different effects, different little looks on them. But I will be coloring them yellow. We will not finish this entire page together. I will be doing leaves and some background, and then starting in the middle I'll do some gel pen work, and we will explore that. And this is quite pigmented for how firm they feel. Just trying to be very random. Moving on to the red brown. I want this sharper. Let's add a layer of the tan. Nope, I have to be very soft with this color. Now the Kalour, I was able to do heavy pressure. So this is a good instance where you get to know your pencils, and if you have too many pencils like me, you're going to be inclined to make like those two areas are too dark. You'll have some mistakes when you forget behaviors of your pencils. So it's not a bad idea to only have so many sets. So the exciting thing, switching to the red now. The red on the Kalour was the very vibrant, I had to use soft pressure in, but for the Starjoy Gold, the yellow mustard color is the very vibrant. All right, so that completes our browns. Here's what we colored today. And now I'm going to move right on to greens. I will start in the upper left. I don't really know which green leaves. I haven't really thought that far to like, is there a pattern I want to do? So I'm just going to start with 1 or 2 leaves per, and then just see what kind of time we have and go from there. First things first, Castle Arts that are all mixed in. Here, I know that this little guy is one of them. We're doing 4 greens. I tried to limit it to 3, but I really couldn't get the depth of color I wanted. So we have 4. Let's make sure we have all. Yes. Full range of color here. The barrel on the third one, leaf green, is a little bit off. Leaf green. Yeah. In fact, so this is a good point. Look at my tips. They look reversed when you just look at the tips. However, if I reverse them, this barrel, the leaf green barrel, is very off. And yes, that's not the right color. So leaf green light 61, leaf green 111, castle green 58, and hooker's green 54. The 58 is also not right. I will at the end, if I remember, share with you the swatches as I picked them out. We're working on the top. I believe I am going to, we have a split down the middle and a split down the middle. I have not drawn it in. I'm going to start with this leaf and we'll see. These are the primary colors, but I am going to probably add a couple of colors from the flower. We'll see how it goes. This is my shadow color. You guys might be able to hear my fan. I think my fan is almost out of power. Okay, so there's the shaded lines. This green is quite bright compared to what we see for the tip is not the color that it is, as you will see here. I'm going to grab sepia, which is typically really dark, and it is this reddish color. It is the reddish tone for the Castle Arts. And I am just adding some imperfections. And I'm even going to just grab the light tan, mustard color, yellow ochre 77. So I'm noticing that I'm going with, to make it a little bit different than my typical Small Victories level of coloring, I'm adding in some extra tones just for interest. This is the leaf green, and that barrel is absolutely not the color. This is a very light bright. Look at that light limey green. And this is not our lightest color. Leaf green light 61 is the lightest color. So we're going to leave that for the moment and move on to the next one. These will be setting the stage for all of the leaves. I see a little bit of tooth. I'm going to get some more shadow in here. Okay, there we go. I want to do this leaf up here, so I have like a little area. I'll probably do these 3 and these 3 on each side. All right, so let's work on, this is the darkest tone, Hooker's Green. There's a shadow there where the leaf is behind another leaf. Okay. This is that bright green that the barrel does not match, Castle Green. Look how bright that is. Lots of overlap with the dark color. A little bit lighter. I'm going back to the darkest before I work on the lightest. I'm gonna go check. We might be at our time for the day, and we will just stop and finish the rest of the leaves and then move on to the backgrounds. Okay, I will be right back. All right, we've got time. We will be able to finish these leaves and even probably work on another set. Where was I at? I had gone back in and darkened some, and now I'm going to add this is the third lightest. I am not finding these to be as smooth of blending as I've known them to be. I don't know if it's just me today, the colors, the paper maybe being different than the Small Victories paper, but like there's these lines here. I'm doing little circles, and I would expect to be able to blend those out. But that is not what's happening. So let's see if I go with a little darker. Now I did go from a pretty dark to this very bright green. Maybe my transitions aren't the best. I was trying not to go with 5 colors. Getting a little bit of crumbs because I'm working and working. I've already burnished, and now the thing I do like about these is that once I've burnished and I've got the waxy finish, I am still able to go in and manipulate the pigment, get it to smooth out some, so I like that. Gonna grab my brush. It's actually right here. Now, I've got some browns and tans. Because leaves aren't perfect, that was the tan. Very soft pressure. Oop. Okay, that line, that was not intended. Too much pressure. I don't want things to be liney looking. We want smooth, so I'm going to soften that. Go back in. This is the second to lightest color. So there's my leaves. Now we will see if I can standardize on that with the other two. We have enough to do one more set. Do we want to struggle with the Crayola? I think we do. We will just go ahead and see how we can make this work. 3, 4. Every set is 4 colors for the greens. Granny Smith apple, fern green, and pine green. And all of these colors. So first off, between the Granny Smith and the fern, there isn't as much difference as I would like. And then the pine green is not as dark. I just don't have probably the darkest green with this 100 set because there are 150 total. So I'm going to do these 3 leaves. Let's just see. These are very hard. It will take a little bit of work for me to get the depth. I think I am up for the challenge. Again, the interesting thing about these is when you first put them down on the paper, with this particular paper, it probably will vary, I feel resistance drag, they feel scratchy, and they're kind of noisy. Then, after you have a base layer, and then you start, like I'm going over the dark with this next color, which is green. And they feel way better to me. See, what I might have to do if I want to try to get these to look as similar as possible to the other 3 sets, I might have to add a dark in a different color tone, because look at the depth and the lack of depth. So we will work on that. It's not terrible though. Let's go back in with the pine. We have not done our lightest green yet. But I just see we're only as dark as we're gonna get. That's not going to get any darker. Lightest green. Not horrible though. Look at that. I wish I had a little bit of a yellow or green. I do have. So, looking at my sidebar, I have this yellow that I used as the brightest yellow. And see that yellow tint? I'm just going to see if I can glaze over the top lightly and get a little hint of that yellow tone without having to go pull a 5th green. Yep. Okay. I'm liking that. I also have tan and red. Not sure how well these layer after you've fully filled in the tooth. There are areas of this leaf that are completely done. I still got a little bit of the tan. Let's try our reddish brown. Interesting. Maybe this is my darker color I will use. Boy, that's doing a nice job, isn't it? Okay, first time I've ever had to quote-unquote overwork a Crayola image, and I am still able to do more work over the top of a fully burnished area, so that's nice. Okay, I'm good with that. Let's set down the red, or the brown. We're gonna go up here. You're gonna see how, now this will remind you how faint the initial layers are with these. All right. We are just over our time. I think I have not got deep enough into this flower, and I will want to work it so that it looks like that one. So that's going to take some time. We will just meet back here for the next episode. Thank you so much for joining me today. Do all of the YouTube things, like, share, comment, consider subscribing. Don't forget to go over to the poll, take a look at my sets that I own, and pick one for the Kirby Sea Turtle from Fragile Worlds. And I will see you all then. Take care.